Hi, everyone. My name is James Wheeler, and I'm excited to be speaking today with Rachel Laubacher about how Attentive Concierge has helped fuel a personalized customer experience for Solo Stove. Rachel here is the Senior Retention Marketing Manager at Solo Stove, so she's responsible primarily for leading the email, SMS, and loyalty strategy for Solo Stove's brand. I'm James Wheeler, as I said, a Senior Client Strategy Manager here at Attentive. My focus is on the concierge program and live conversational text messaging, which we'll dive into further in just a bit. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us today. It's really great to have you. Would you mind giving us a brief introduction to Solo Stove?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me, James. So Solo Stove was founded back in 2010 by two brothers, Jeff and Spencer Jan, who were looking to spend more time together and more time outdoors. We started off with our ultra lightweight camp stove, the Light, that requires nothing more than sticks and twigs for fuel and can boil water in under 10 minutes. Within a few years, though, we had more and more customers asking us to make larger models, which brought about the addition of two larger camp stove models. As our community continued to grow, and so did the desire for an even bigger flame. So a few years later, we entered the fire pit market with our Bonfire smokeless fire pit, and have since expanded that collection to include 3 different sizes to help suit a variety of lifestyles. Since our founding and kind of continuing on to today, Solo Stove is dedicated to designing simple outdoor products that help customers turn good moments into lasting memories. So whether that's catching up with old friends and sharing stories around the fire, or spending time with your kids, enjoying some s'mores at the end of a long week, we hope our products can help you and your family to reconnect with what matters most.
Awesome. Thank you. And quick side note, I've been a big fan and owner of Solo Stove, or of a Solo Stove, for over a year now. I have the mid-sized Bonfire model, and I can confidently say that they absolutely live up to the hype.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. The Bonfire is definitely our bestseller for a reason.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been great so far. All right, Rachel, let's start talking a little bit about your overall goals for using SMS to improve the customer experience.
Yeah, so Solo Stove has been using SMS for a couple of years now. And kind of as we continue to grow the channel, our hope is that we can aid more shoppers in their purchasing journey, whether that's by proactively engaging those high intent shoppers to convert, or creating kind of a more seamless shopping experience, since we know more and more traffic is coming from mobile devices, or even just establishing those personal relationships with our subscribers early on in their customer journey.
Great. Let's now bring this into your strategy for actually achieving these goals. So you've been involved with the Attentive Concierge program since the start of our alpha back in October. Can you share a little bit about why you wanted to be involved from the get-go?
Yeah, so as a brand, we are hyper-focused on creating a positive customer experience. And I think one of the ways that we excel most with that is through human interactions. So when we had heard that Attentive is going to be going through and adding a more human element to one of our top growing digital marketing channels, I think we were just really eager to see how that could aid in the overall customer experience.
Awesome. And before diving into the Solo Stove strategy, I'd love to take just a minute to explain Attentive's Concierge program, how it works, and benefits brands. So Attentive Concierge enhances the SMS experience and transforms it into a two-way communication channel. Instead of replying to subscriber questions and comments with generic automated messages, there's a real person on the other end of the line responding to text messages from your subscribers in real time. So using your customer support materials, facts, product information, our team maintains a dynamic knowledge base that we use to interact with your users and answer questions accurately in your own brand voice. Lastly, our Attentive Concierge agents are trained to address the needs of your brand and can save your customer support team valuable time by fielding most questions completely independently. Ultimately, the goal is to deliver a great, personable, and memorable experience for the user while also acting as an extension of your customer support team. So with that said, Rachel, could you talk a little bit about how you've been using Attentive Concierge to support Solo Stove's SMS subscribers?
Yeah, so we are currently using it for our cart abandonment journey to engage shoppers when they're actively considering making that purchase, by offering kind of personalized customer support that hopefully helps influence their buying decisions. So with the conversational messaging, we invite subscribers to reply directly with their questions, and hope that they can get answers immediately from a live concierge agent in real time. Within the conversational messaging as well, we're also A/B testing different messaging within the journey just to see what performs best.
Awesome. Thank you. So with that, let's dive into the actual cart abandon setup that you were using prior to concierge.
So looking at our abandoned cart journey prior to concierge, we would send an automated text message 20 minutes after a subscriber abandoned their shopping cart. And this would include a personalized image of the product that they added to cart, as well as a direct link back to the cart page to try to go ahead and convert that subscriber.
Awesome. So my understanding is that this journey really was pretty effective and successful, but Solo Stove ultimately wanted to try incorporating an element of real human interaction at this point in the customer journey.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
so with that said, let's take a look at the new iteration with concierge enabled. Could you walk us through this experience?
Yeah, so similar to our standard cart abandonment journey, when someone adds an item to their cart but doesn't complete that purchase after 20 minutes, they enter this journey. As you can see here, there's an A/B test. So 50% of the users receive version A and 50% of the users receive version B. Version A is that standard one-way abandoned cart reminder with that dynamic link back to the product viewed. If someone were to respond to this message, they would receive our auto-triggered autoresponder, just giving them the option to take a further step to email our customer support team via email. But with version B, they go ahead and enter the conversational abandoned cart with concierge. So this invites them to reply directly with their questions and start a real conversation with an actual person. Within this actual journey too, we're seeing one of two versions being sent to those customers just to kind of test out different language.
Great. And we will drill down into that momentarily as well. So to step back really quick, this is a great opportunity to highlight the difference in the user experience between the two paths that you see here. As Rachel mentioned, if a user decides to reply to any standard text message, a one-way message, like in variation A, they'll be met with a generic auto reply that might direct the user to a support email address if they want additional help. If the user responds with a question to a concierge-enabled message, their response goes directly to our team and is quickly met with that live human reply. The user doesn't have to make any extra effort to receive help. They can communicate via their chosen medium, which in this case is text, and this will often be the quickest possible path to an answer for that user. Next, let's actually drill down into that A/B test you're running with subscribers who are routed through concierge.
So diving a bit deeper into the conversational A/B test, we are currently testing two different versions of the conversational text message, including the specific question that invites subscribers to reply. So one of these is asking any questions I can answer for you, and the other is saying, can I help with any product-related questions today? So there's a couple thoughts around this specific test. Both versions include our concierge agent, Sarah, and include a direct link back to the product that the subscriber added to their cart. Either way, if a subscriber replies, their message will get forwarded to concierge and the conversation will begin with the real agent. If they don't reply, their journey will end. But really in this case, we wanted to see if one prompt is more effective at kind of kicking off that two-way interaction with concierge.
Great, thanks. So the reason that we like to have a couple of different iterations, as you see here on the screen, is because subscribers replying and starting a conversation is really just the key aspect of this experience that really triggers everything. So we view this as an ongoing A/B test where we continue to iterate and tweak these messages to identify what resonates best with your users for your particular brand, and then leads them to engage in a conversation with us. Looking at recent data for Solo Stove, we're seeing that version B is resonating better with subscribers, just generally based on engagement and response rate. So the next step here for us might be to leave version B intact and figure out the next copy iteration for version A to continue making those incremental gains. So with that said, let's look at some real interactions that you've been able to have with subscribers using concierge. So first one here, I really love this interaction because it highlights how offering proactive customer support opens the door for subscribers to text us back on their own terms. So even though this person didn't have a question initially, they still responded to say they were figuring out their budget, which gave the concierge agent an opportunity to write back and let them know that we'd be available if any questions came up moving forward. And that's exactly what happened. The person responded again a few minutes later to find out how long the sale would last on the product they were interested in, and the agent was able to provide helpful info while also creating a sense of urgency. So as you can see by the end result here, the interaction was successful and the shopper was inspired to ultimately follow through on their purchase.
Yeah, agreed. I think this is a perfect example of just adding in a more human element to what you might experience if you were shopping in a retail storefront.
Absolutely. I think the retail associate type of experience is something that is unique to concierge that we are really trying to achieve here. So let's take a look at a few other examples uh, of interactions with your team that show the range of support we can provide with concierge and how it naturally adds a personal touch to the shopping experience.
Yeah, so we've seen our subscribers ask a wide variety of questions in response to the conversational cart abandonment text message. As you can see here in this first example, someone was curious about free shipping, and the agent was able to quickly confirm that we offer free shipping on orders over $75. In the second example, we have a subscriber who reached out needing help redeeming their rewards points through our loyalty program. And we were able to share detailed instructions on how to do so and then be on standby if they had any more help or any issues. Sometimes we'll even have people respond back after they've made a purchase, like you can see here in this third example. This person had purchased a solo stove for a friend as a gift and entered the wrong email at checkout. We were able to go ahead and provide them with peace of mind that as long as their friend received a confirmation email, that they were all good with that purchase. And finally, as you can see here in this last example, people also have product questions about specs, sizes, or even care instructions, like how to clean our fire pits or which size is best for their particular lifestyle. So the concierge agents are really stepping in to help assist as product experts for the brand. With this conversational journey, we can answer any questions our subscribers have, and being able to provide those answers quickly and directly via text is both a win-win for us and our customers.
Awesome. So really, in many ways, these replies and questions from users can really become a form of quality assurance for your brand and provide actionable insights. So a couple of additional examples there. One, if you're getting a lot of questions about how to redeem loyalty reward points, for example, that might indicate an opportunity to add more content to your website about how the program works. And you can have more front-facing materials to proactively answer those questions so they don't have to come to us in the future. Similarly, if you have questions about product specs, size, care instructions, those sort of things, you could even consider creating a post-purchase journey that educates customers about how to care for those products, or even making product education a more regular part of your SMS campaign strategy. So, at the end of the day, these user questions can really create a roadmap for next steps for improving your website and your user experience.
I think that's a great point. Prior to using Concierge, we were strategizing about ways that we could glean more insights on why customers may bounce on the website or why they wouldn't complete their purchase. And being able to capture these actionable insights and hopefully course correct instantaneously has definitely been helpful for us as a brand.
Excellent. So I mentioned earlier that our concierge agents use all of your customer service materials and facts to respond effectively to any incoming questions. But if there's ever a question that they don't have an immediate answer to, they will escalate to your team at the brand to get the information they need to respond appropriately. So you can see that process in action here. In this case, the subscriber wanted to know if their solo stove could be delivered to an RV park. The agent provided information based on past interactions they've had with other customers, but they also reached out to the solo stove team for a more definitive answer and follow up the next day via text to close out that conversation.
The escalation process has definitely been very insightful for us as a brand. And working with the concierge team, they're essentially becoming product experts on your brand and immersing themselves on all of your guidelines. So if ever they're unable to answer a specific question based on the information we've shared with them historically or with what they're able to gather on the website, it's definitely helpful context for us in knowing that there may be some gaps in product education or FAQs on the website. And those are things that we should be addressing as a brand.
Awesome. And I actually love that example too. I think that's something that was not really, I think, something we initially thought of as a key benefit of the concierge program. This feels like more of an ancillary benefit that sort of revealed itself over time, which is really great to see. So before we wrap up with some key takeaways from today, Rachel, would you mind talking a bit about how your experience with concierge has been so far?
For sure. So as a brand, one of our key pillars at Solo Stove is customer experience. So the more places that we can be improving the overall journey and removing friction from the shopping experience, the better. I think looking at some of the questions people have asked and potential barriers to purchasing, that's really just helpful information for us to understand how we can be improving the on-site experience and how we can be better communicating with our customers. Obviously, adding that human element too is crucial. Being able to build relationships with customers is key for us. And we know that having strong experiences will only help improve that overall customer lifetime value.
Fantastic. So, in thinking about what's next for the Solo Stove program, first we're seeing strong results for Solo Stove with Attentive Concierge in the abandoned cart stage of their journey. This is a good place to start, but there are certainly other phases in the customer journey where people have questions that we can help answer. With this in mind, here are a couple of different ways we might consider unlocking two-way communication across their SMS program. First would be enabling concierge in the welcome series. This is one of my favorite ways to establish a foundation of two-way communication from the get-go for a subscriber. And that can really set the tone for how that subscriber interacts with your brand moving forward. Or a more comprehensive measure would be to consider enabling one of our newest features called Concierge Everywhere. This is our sort of all-in feature where your SMS program becomes a true two-way channel. Any reply from a subscriber will reach our concierge team, whether it's a reply to a welcome message, a browse abandoned message, or even a campaign, and our team will be on the other end to respond accordingly. Separately, as we talked about earlier when we were discussing the cart abandoned setup, we're thinking about our next version of concierge journey language to keep the messaging fresh and continue to make incremental gains on user engagement and response rate to that journey. So, as I alluded to before on the last slide, let's get into some of those key takeaways. Through Attentive Concierge, providing personalized customer support via text allows you to meet your customers where they're already shopping, drive conversions by answering questions in real time, start building brand loyalty and trust before the purchase, and lastly, improving the overall customer experience with human two-way interactions. We really want to be taking on this approach like we're just a friend that you're having a conversation with from the brand.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect way of putting it. Utilizing Attentive Concierge has been an easy and effective way for us as a brand to kind of meet customers where they're at in their shopper journey, help answer real-time questions, and maybe even prevent some of those roadblocks that may be preventing them from converting. So much of our growth over the last few years as a brand has come from word of mouth. So I think continuing to improve each and every interaction that we have with customers is extremely important to us, and definitely something that we want to continue to focus on as we grow as a brand, is just finding ways to incorporate that human element.
Awesome. And, I'm excited to see what we're able to do together with Concierge for Solo Stove as we continue to build out the product and really make that human element a foundational aspect of the program moving forward.